she also is even sometimes the finance manager because, you know, there's things she has to work out deals, people pay a little here, a little bit there, so she did all that of it too. I think a lot of people don't know about Kathy is a few times that we do have some people who just, and Kathy would never say this, but I thought this was really special of her, that didn't have the money to pay the water bills and a real unfortunate senior citizen, whatever. A lot of times she paid the bill. And I thought that was always really nice for her to do that. Because she certainly didn't have to do that. And on behalf of those people, Kathy, really thank you for that. Because obviously it wouldn't have happened otherwise. Thinking back on 23 years she has been clerk. We've had some high points, some low points. She's part of the wastewater project we put in here. She's part of the water lines that we put in. She was part of a street paving project. She helped out with when the Impact first built up there. That was a huge project for us. And I think hers and my favorite is this building right here, because the other ones, especially the wastewater and water lines, you don't really set much of a, you know, that's not a grandeur type thing. You're ahead of the project to put things in the ground. This is a little nicer. Kathy and I usually agreed in everything. We're kind of a little conservative with money, both of us, so it was always nice to have someone who was always watching the books all the time, and I think that's good, watch the bills and so forth. I think, case of this building, even Kathy didn't agree with me we should put this building, and at first she was a little hesitant. But I knew we needed to do something here, and I think she finally came around on that one too, so I think she would agree our longest week as we working together was the week that this wall here collapsed, and that was quite trying. I think either the rest of the council too, for that matter, none of us slept all week because it was a very trying time, but it worked out fine, as we can see. I was going to say, we agreed a lot of things all the time. Usually, just as an example, I know when Kathy decided to retire, and we had 23 applicants for the job, and the council members would take the 23 people. Kathy erased their names so we couldn't tell who they were. And so the council members would go through and would pick out like 5 or 6 that we were going to interview. And when I handed mine in and Kathy did hers on the side, you know who they were. Ours were exactly the same. So we did think a lot of things. Amanda's going to have, where are you at, Amanda? You're going to have a big footsteps to follow, but I think you can do it. I mean, I have no doubt about that. So it'll be hard to replace. We have a little plaque here. I want Kathy to come out.
There you go.
And it says, in appreciation to Kathleen Howard. I put Kathleen on because she always signed her checks. Kathleen Howard, and I always kind of like that. For 23 years of dedicated service as City Clerk of Meter, Minnesota, 2013. Kathy.
You know, Amanda said I should say a few words, but I really don't know what to say. Did go through a lot of changes, saw a lot of changes happen in the city, a lot of different projects, and lived through a lot of different councils. Can't really say there were any councils that I didn't really like. Everything always, people would be a little skeptical sometimes, but eventually things would work out and people would come together and work together to make things happen the way they should. I guess when I started here, we were at that tail end of the wastewater project, and we walked into a situation where the previous clerk died in a car accident, so we were trying to pull things together, plus bring the end of that project together. So that was kind of thrown into the fire to start out with. But it started out, everything was manual. We did everything by hand. We figured the water bills by hand. There were no computers. And then we moved to computers. So really, I went from the old age to the new age. And I think the computer age is much better. A lot easier on everyone. But I think Amanda will probably see lots of changes over the years. Wonder where we can go from here, but there are a lot of changes that will probably happen in the years that she's here, and I am confident that she will do a fine job. I've even been training her. She has a little more computer knowledge than I have, and I learned some things from her while I was training her. So that was a lot of give and take there, and I think she'll be a fine replacement.
I just want to say a couple more things. I was thinking when Kathy said the old school doing things was so nice because Kathy knew shorthand. And you know, I'm one of those people who have thousands of ideas, not very many bear fruit, but Kathy wrote a lot of letters for me through the years to send to various organizations. And it was really nice to have all the shorthand to go through stuff so we get it all done. And they know as well as in St. Paul, Washington, I know that. They know there's two signatures, Richard Gronis and Kathy Howard, so Kathleen Howard. So it was so funny, about 2 weeks ago, not last week before I came and popped into Amanda, I need 3 letters sent out. And Amanda went, whoa, I don't know, shorthand, he's got ideas in his head, here it comes, you know. I'm sure Kathy warned her. But anyway, it was really a pleasure working with Kathy. I know we had a few characters, and I can't name them all because of some are from Maynard, obviously, but some of the people we work with in St. Paul, and Kathy, I'll never forget them. But one of them we have right here, and it's one of Kathy's favorites, John Meyer. And he's our city consultant, and so many times Kathy would call, Meyer called. So John, you want to say a couple words, just see what you think about that?
Kathy, I wasn't sure you were going to make it to retirement because we tried to keep her on for a while because we have this wastewater project we'd like to finish up. So it's pretty important that she would be here. But there are a couple things that really Kathy really specialized with in my life. I created some misery in my life. We did some tax increment work here in town, which is confusing at best. And Kathy had the responsibility of doing the reports, which were very difficult. And because they were so confusing, I was going to give her a certificate of being an expert because over time she got very good at it. And the other thing that she was really good at was dealing with people, particularly those people that were federal people. When Rick and I and other people wanted to hang somebody, she was a common sense about dealing with them and being nice to them and getting through it. So she was a wonderful clerk, probably the best one I've ever worked with. So good luck in your retirement, and thank you for the service to Maynard.
Thanks. Anybody else from previous councils or councils want to say anything? Gloria, want to say something?
I'd get in trouble.
I can probably talk loud enough about this. I have actually been in the same office area, but being in the library and the city hall are connected with Kathy for her 23 years. I've been there for 25, which sometimes it kind of shocks you. You realize that you've been in a position for that many years, doesn't it? But we've had a lot of, we've gone through a lot together, Kathy. Good times, bad times, happy times, sad times. But it was always nice to know that when I needed to talk, Kathy was there. When I needed to cry on the shoulder, you were there. So, keep in touch.
Anyone else? Otherwise, I guess that concludes our little program. Enjoy your retirement. Although she's working Monday. Thanks.